What's up? I'm Philly K. I am a singer-songwriter, entrepreneur, clothing line owner, do a little bit of everything. I've been writing since I started playing drums when I was 3, started writing songs when I was 10, playing piano. And I started seriously recording when I was 18. When I was 18, recording in Boston, I got serious into drugs, dealing like crazy. I ended up going to California to go to rehab. When I went to Cali, I was like 19 years old. The first year I was there, I really was like, this is so hard to compete with everybody. I feel like I had a few followers. It was just a little discouraging, but I ended up meeting a dude, this radio promoter who ended up knowing everybody. But when he got my song on the radio, that's when I knew for real. After that, everything sort of took off. I was signed by like multiple management companies over the past few years. Coming anywhere, like the past year I was in writing sessions 5-6 days a week, sometimes two times a day. My dad's like sort of older, so I was always listening to like his music, and like he's probably my biggest supporter in general. He encourages me to keep doing music constantly and start new endeavors through music, stuff like that. I was watching Saturday Night Fever. It was just so random. I'd never seen it before. My dad was like, you gotta watch this. The Bee Gees are incredible. I was like, who the fuck, what is that? So he puts it on, and I'm like, this is so funky and sick. And like, it's a super funky song. It's called Be Cool. It's very Bee Gees oriented. And it was sort of like a completely separate from all my other music. But my radio promoter heard it and was obsessed with it. Sent it to Kid Kelly at XM Radio, and he immediately threw it on Top 20 on 20, which is like the 5th biggest pop station in the country. So from there, I don't know, that's just sort of where I got my inspiration, and then Gemini and I worked a lot together on that. Now my music's a lot more R&B, hip-hop oriented, and honestly, when I moved to LA, and I told my manager when I was like 20, I was like, I'm an R&B singer, and he's like, no, you're not. You can't be one. And I was like, what? And that's like always really what I wanted to do and only what I cared about. But I didn't start doing it until I basically pushed away from the people that didn't want me to do it. Yeah, I've done a ton of collabs. Like I said, I was in collabs like 5 days a week in Cali. And it got to a point where I was with this management company called Engage. They were setting me up with really big sessions. I worked with a guy named Sock Passe, who has a platinum album with Rihanna. So he was like one of my mentors out there for like the past year, 2 years that I worked, produced like half the songs I have upcoming. And with that, I worked with a co-writer who was signed to Warner Brothers. He also he's been nominated for Grammys. So they're both Grammy nominated, platinum winning. Josh Zegan was the guy writing with me, so he produces and writes, but he was co-writing with me. So I had a really solid team out there, especially for the last few years, that we got big, like getting in the room with big names like that. My biggest song is Savannah. It has like, I don't know, 40 plus million plays on. It's not one I'm most proud of, though it is a great song. I wrote it really, really quickly. It's sad to say that because so many people like love it. But and it's great that they love it, but it was just one of those songs that I wrote while eating dinner, heading to the studio 5 minutes before. But it definitely was not about a girl. It was the artists were like, write a song about Africa, write it about animals. So I wrote that, and that was like what I came back with. And people are like, oh, Savannah, who's she? I'm like, no, I don't even know any Savannahs. The past year, I felt like working with all these amazing people in Los Angeles was a huge accomplishment for me. Coming from like nothing, I didn't ever think I'd be able to get in the room with half the people I did. And it turned into like modeling, which is something I never even thought. I'm 5'8", like it's not a thing that I would ever think I'd do. But all of a sudden I'm getting followers, and then I'm meeting every day. I'm out in LA and Fairfax, smoking weed and walking around the streets, meeting every store owner, saying what's up. They're throwing me free clothes, and then all of a sudden I'm taking pictures of them, and they're asking me to model for their page, and I ended up modeling for Young Money. That was crazy. Young Money, Pink Dolphin, Dope. Those are some of the really big guys that I modeled for, which was pretty crazy. I really love fashion. That's why I'm making my own clothing line. But modeling's just like a thing. It's easy. You stand in front of a camera and you let them dress you. I do love fashion though, so it definitely helps when they're like, we'll give you all our clothing that you try on, or something like to that extent. Some people are stingy, some are not. Pink Dolphin was not. They were amazing. They were the best company I did a shoot with. So anyone looking for good clothes, after my company, go to them. I got a line called TroubleMaker coming out, and right now I'm just wearing just a necklace off of it. This is a gold-plated necklace that we have. But we're doing a full line. We got 2 different tracksuits, long sleeve t-shirts, and we have some hoodies as well. But basically a company in Singapore came out to Los Angeles, and they were like, we're looking for influencers to invest in. What's your pitch to us? Like, do you have any ideas? And I was like, actually I do. I have this whole idea of naming my clothing line TroubleMaker, and I threw her my pitch, showed her my drawings that I had. I hear back a few months later, like, yeah, we're still working with you, we're figuring things out. I hear back later, yeah, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna make all your stuff for you. So Zalingo is making everything come to life there in Singapore. I started in living in a trailer in a really not nice part of LA, and within 3 years, I had 4 apartments in Hollywood that I was renting out. So I really think if you have the mindset to make it, you can go out there and make it. It's a great place to go, and you can be very successful in entertainment quickly if something catches on, if you meet the right people. West Coast is like every man for yourself. Like, make it or get the fuck out. It's harsh. It's very harsh out there, but it's a good place to make it.